Let's talk about an NHL parade that could potentially be taking place. The Florida Panthers can stop all the momentum and all the gas that is headed towards Edmonton's way, where it was 3-0, 3-1. Now it's 3-2. Back in Edmonton in Game 6. How do you see this one going? And is this going to continue to be the Connor McDavid show all the way to a Game 7 back in South Florida?
Well, if Leon Draisaitl, doesn't find that elite level of his game, it's going to have to be, because I think the Florida Panthers' best players are going to get a whole lot better in Game 6. They're going to have to be. This is a must-win game for the Florida Panthers. I don't care about home ice. Everybody says this and says that. Anything can happen in this series. It's gone back and forth. But listen, Edmonton wins this game and pushes to Game 7. It'll be very, very difficult to see Florida winning that game. Florida's got to get it done tonight. They've done it on the road all season. They've done it all playoff long. I think they got to get it done tonight, but I don't know if I see that happening. Connor McDavid, back-to-back 4-point nights, back-checking, physical, leading the way. And then when we need a little bit of that greatness, when we have to see it, it's been phenomenal to watch the plays that he's been able to. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely disgusting. Guys, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I can't put it in perspective what 2 minutes and 20 seconds is on the ice, whether you're the fastest player or the slowest player. He's gassed right now. He's got nothing in the tank, and he's still able to make that play. And, when everybody says, you got to dig deep, this is what you train hard for, that goal is what that's all about. That's all training, that's all heart, that's all will. It's his skill set, but that was all heart and all will for me. For me, watching that live was the best moment of the playoffs by far, and maybe the best moment that I've seen in a Stanley Cup playoff in a very, very long time, if ever. Watch this.
Yeah, and he's the one, too.
What the hell?
I mean, it's perfect for the sport. It's perfect for the McDavid legacy, as would be, obviously, a Stanley Cup title. They got to win back-to-back games, one at home tonight in Edmonton at 8 p.m. on ABC, with the points starting at 7 p.m. with Levy, PK, and Moose. We can't wait to watch that entire thing. But whenever you talk about McDavid's legacy, he's like minus 350 right now to win the Conn Smythe. He would be the sixth player in the history of the NHL to do it losing. If Florida was able to win this series, which they're up, they win tonight, they win the Stanley Cup, which seemingly seems so far away. Yeah. But all it is 3 periods of Florida Panther hockey, and they're able to hoist it. But this has become the Connor McDavid show, which I think is good for hockey, because even people that don't like hockey can watch this guy and say, damn, this is a marvel that we're watching right here. If he was to win a Conn Smythe, everybody in the hockey world would be okay with it, even if they lost the Stanley Cup, because it's only happened 5 times in the history of the NHL.
I'm very, very traditional. I think that the Conn Smythe Trophy should go to the winning team and the best player on that team.
Hell yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I like 1960s hockey. That's traditional. They do it all the time.
That's the way I'm wired. But the way that this guy has played, there is no one on the Florida Panthers that has been more valuable to their team than Connor McDavid has been to the Edmonton Oilers in getting them to this situation right now. This guy, what he's done in the playoffs, he's the best player on the ice every game. Whether he's getting 4 points or not, he's still the best player on the ice. If guys can finish 90% of the damn chances that he gets, guys got backdoor tap-ins, they're missing nets, hitting posts, hitting legs. This guy is a difference maker, and he's the greatest player on the planet right now. I would not argue that. I ain't going to go on any rant. I'm not going to be upset about it if he gets it. But for me personally, I think that the Conn Smythe should go to the winning team's best player. That's just me. That's just me.
You're not the only one that feels that way. You're not the only one that feels that way.
But he is the MVP. Hey, listen, he's the MVP of the playoffs. You're breaking Gretzky's records in the playoffs. I mean, come on, man.
He's 5 points away.
What he's doing. Yeah.
He's 5 points away.
How are you going to argue that?
Tying Gretzky in points throughout an entire playoff series. If he gets 6, obviously he breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. Now, Wayne has 340-plus point performances throughout the playoffs. Dude's so good. He was so good at hockey. So good at hockey. And we're watching McDavid obviously dazzle in front of numbers and ratings that have been the highest that the NHL has seen ever, I think. So this is a beautiful time for hockey, and the world's best player is putting on a show. But that could all end tonight if the Florida Panthers show up. Go ahead, AJ.
PK, where do you think Bobrovsky's confidence level is right now after kind of the barrage that he's taken these last 2 games? And Also, how important is it for Florida to get on the board first tonight? You don't want to give Edmonton, I would imagine, any more momentum, especially up there. We know that place will be going crazy, and try to tamp that down early.
That's a big football mindset right there. AJ just said, hey, we got to score first to keep this crowd out of it. Do you guys think that way too?
Well, Pat, you just said something, football mindset, but the mindset of the Florida Panthers since they started having success as a team, when Matthew Tkachuk got there, was we want to be hard to play against. It's hard to play that way, but we'd rather be playing that way than playing against someone playing our style. I remember him specifically saying that in the playoffs this year. Well, Florida, where is this difficult defensive style that you guys play? I haven't seen it for the past 2 games. You guys went on vacation. Like, we need to bring back this ferocious forecheck. Nobody could skate the puck to the middle. I'm watching the Rangers series. The Rangers had one game when Lafreniere was going tic-tac-toe through the neutral zone and he scored those 2 nice goals. Other than that, nobody's had access to the middle of the ice. I said at the beginning of the series, you cannot allow Connor McDavid or the Edmonton Oilers to get the middle of the ice. Their game is speed. Their transition game is quick. They got guys that can skate. And Florida's kind of, I don't want to take the credit away from Edmonton or Connor McDavid, but Florida's kind of beating themselves. It's like, guys, manage the puck. The first 3 games, every time they got the red line, they didn't have an odd man rush. Puck went behind their D. They made Edmonton come 200 feet. So in some ways, it's Edmonton playing better, and they've definitely found the confidence in their game. People talk about momentum. I don't see momentum. I see it as confidence. Edmonton's the more confident team right now. Florida, to find that confidence, they got to get back to their game. Simplify it. Get in on the forecheck. Get in on the body. Clog up the middle of the ice. Make this a dogfight. Like, you don't want to get into trading chances with Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. You're not going to win.
Confidence is a massive piece of momentum. I didn't know that the hockey world was anti-momentum. That's awesome. I didn't know that. It seems like you guys...
No.
Huh?
Like, in a game it can happen, but I don't think it transfers from game to game. I think hockey's... Yeah, I don't see that. I think it's...
Paul Maurice say he didn't believe in momentum, and then there's been stats people in the football world that say, momentum's not a real thing. Let's tell you what's real. On 3rd and 7s, 62% of the time, this is what happens or whatever. So then when we heard Paul Maurice say it, and then I believe Jack Johnson, we were talking to him yesterday, he was like, some people credit momentum when actually it was just an adjustment that was made that has changed the way a team is playing or whatever. So it was like, I didn't know if all of hockey hated momentum and didn't think it was real, and if that's what you guys have been selling yourselves.
So, Pat,
because it is.
Hold on.
I mean, you guys are wrong completely. But, I mean,
you just said one key thing, Pat.
Okay.
The changes, right? Adjustments that are being
Jack
made.
Johnson said that.
By way.
Okay, yeah.
The Cup champion.
100% Jack Johnson. Love Jack Johnson. Respect the hell out of him.
Big
Stanley Cup champion is right. And that's one of Sid's boys, too. That's one of Sid's old homies. I will say this.
It's AJ's brother-in-law.
Paul Maurice.
That's AJ's brother-in-law.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, God.
So Paul Maurice hasn't played one card yet. He's going to be playing Barkov and Forsling. I'd be shocked if those guys get off the ice tonight. Like, those guys are going to be playing some big minutes tonight. He knows they got to end this thing here tonight. He doesn't want to see it in Game 7. Connor McDavid in one game to win the Stanley Cup? That's what you want to leave it to? You're nuts. Yeah. I am not leaving it to one game. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Forsling and Barkov do not leave the ice tonight. Okay. Those guys are gonna play some real big minutes. And if you noticed, he hasn't really been double shifting them too much. Connor McDavid played 24 minutes. He's gonna get on the ice a ton tonight. So you gotta have your best players. Both teams are riding with their best players tonight. You better believe it.
Let's do some triple shifts, boys.
Yeah.
Let's do some triple shifts. You want Stanley Cup or do you not? And then back to AJ's question about Bob getting back from the barrage that he's taken over. Is there I know confidence and momentum and, you guys view it however you want. Is he done? Is Bob going to be okay? What are we?
Well, he's a 2-time Vezina winner. He has led his team. In my opinion, if they win and someone's going to win the Conn Smythe from Florida, it's going to be him. If there's a goaltender that's left in the playoffs right now that I trust, I'm trusting Sergei Bobrovsky to bounce back and have one of his best games. Okay. So he has to. I think that the last 2 games have been tough. He hasn't been bad. He's made some really good saves. I mean, the 8-1 game's not his fault. No one played any defense in that game. Any real defense anyway. So, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's going to come out and have a great game tonight. If Florida loses tonight, it's not going to be because Sergei Bobrovsky had a bad game. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. This guy's played phenomenal. I'm confident that he'll show up today and have a really, really good game and make it difficult on the Edmonton Oilers. That's for sure. He's going to give his team a chance to win tonight.
Okay,
no doubt.
Perfect. Let's go to the other end. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, PK, obviously as a Bruins fan, I know what Bob can do, but when we're talking about kind of the greatness under pressure, Stu Skinner, I believe, is 9-0 in games from game 5, 6, and 7 throughout the playoffs. I think his goals against is like 1.5. How important is that for the Oilers? And I believe their coach also said, like, hey, under these high pressure situations, Stu Skinner is our best player. Obviously, McDavid is McDavid, but how important is it for him to be able to live up to that moment? And what do you think his mindset is, obviously, because they have had these couple games where he's been hot? I mean, that started out the game for him last game.
I hope Stuart Skinner's family and friends are all watching this when I say this. Sergei Bobrovsky was the best player, best goaltender in the first 3 games of this series. Stuart Skinner, which Connor McDavid has played so well that nobody has really spoken enough about Stuart Skinner and how he's played the last 2 games and how he's going to play today. He has been remarkable. He's done more than just give his team a chance to win games. He's giving his team a chance to win a Stanley Cup. And that's the way he's got to be looked upon. No more of this, I don't know about Stuart Skinner. This guy's done it. He's helped drag them back to Alberta. He deserves just as much credit as Connor McDavid does, as anybody does on the Edmonton Oilers. He has been phenomenal. And it's not just all the all-around saves. That record is reflective of timely saves. He's making big saves at big moments. That one on Aaron Ekblad, that would have changed the whole look of the game. That was early on. That was in the first couple minutes. I remember that. Edmonton couldn't get out of their zone. 2 icings. McDavid hadn't even touched the puck yet, which was a problem for me. Coach Knobloch, get McDavid on the ice within the first couple minutes. He's waiting too long. McDavid wasn't on the ice. Yeah, get him on the ice. Anyway, Stuart Skinner made that huge save on Ekblad. The other one through the screen. The saves that he's made have been elite. So he's playing elite hockey right now, but he deserves it. I mean, I couldn't be happier for that guy with the up and down season and everything in net in Edmonton. But man, he's putting all the haters to bed right here in the finals on the biggest stage. Look at that save.
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
Hey, PK, is there something in hockey that you could just tell when a guy's in the zone? Because I've mentioned this a few times, but I haven't talked to anybody that's actually on the ice. He made a massive save. I forget which one it was. It was huge the other day. And then they put a picture up of him with his mustache, and I didn't know he looked the way he looked. He looks awesome. He looks exactly how you would hope that this guy looks underneath the mask. And then they showed him before a face-off, and he was down in his crouch position, like this with his head down, and he was really just bobbing to the music and dancing. And normally whenever you see a goalie, they're just so locked in or whatever. It was this guy's in his zone. This guy, and you know that when you're on the other team. And as a teammate of that, oh, okay, old buddy is seeing the puck pretty good right now. Is that something that everybody on the ice recognizes whenever you see that type of shit?
100%. And when I look at a guy like him, I don't think of momentum. This is not momentum. Momentum doesn't allow you to see the puck like a beach ball. Okay? The pucks are coming at him like beach balls right now. And that's because of confidence. So the difference is when you're not confident, that puck can feel this big. It can feel that it's hard to see. Everything is through a screen. Everything's when you're confident, it's like a beach ball, man. You see every puck coming. He's like picking cherries, right? He's in the right position all the time. He's fluid in his movement. You can see that he's tracking the puck. He's reading the plays. He knows where to be. So he's on his game. He's sharp, but that's confidence. That's goaltending. Goaltending is hot and cold. You're seeing a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky, who's maybe going through a little bit of ups and downs right now. Some of it may not all be on him. It's the guys around him. But for Stuart Skinner, it's all confidence right now, and the puck definitely looks like a beach ball.
Yeah, definitely not momentum. No, not momentum. Yeah,
nope.
It's confidence.
It's hey, I'm not hot. I'm just sweating.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Because basketball players, whenever they hit one and people are like, let's get the ball back to that guy. And then he hits another one. That's not momentum.
No.
No, that's just him confident from having success the one before that makes the outcome more likely to be better the next time.
Bingo.